I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, Weaver, what the fuck happened to your face? It looks like you got your shit rocked. And I did. I shouldn't have made those videos about waves, man. They didn't like it, man. They cornered me last night and it was bad, man. It was bad. I'm just having some acne or something. I don't know what the fuck happened. Someone was saying something about acne on the channel, and then all of a sudden, boom, they cursed me with it. So I'm just gonna blur my face for the remainder of the video. I'm gonna do you guys a favor. What's going on today, guys? Massive here. Today we'll be talking about the one thing that will absolutely ruin your career. And no, I'm not talking about some piece of shit pulling up your chat logs from 2014 on Twitter. We'll be talking about hearing damage. It's a very important topic, but I feel like it's not as commonly discussed in the music production world as it should be. So what causes hearing damage? Well, this one should be really obvious. Loud noises. Don't worry, I'm not gonna be doing that joke too often in this video. I don't want you guys to click off, and I don't want to ruin your hearing. So a singular loud noise of at least 120 decibels in volume will damage your hearing. 120 decibels is about the volume of a siren. 140 decibels would be the volume of a firework. A 22 caliber rifle is also around 140 decibels, and a pistol is 170 roughly. Now, obviously, these are not the only things that are loud. These are just points of reference for you to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind, especially if you're stupid, is that the volume will be different depending on how far away you are from whatever sound source. You can also damage your hearing by hearing less loud sounds for a long period of time. And this changes depending on how loud it is and how long. Yeah, this video is going to be a downer, guys, but it's pretty important, I would say. Especially if you want to be able to hear more downer videos like this one. A venue or nightclub is around 100 to 110 decibels in volume, and you will damage your hearing in about 5 minutes in there. Yeah, so if you're ever wondering why people have those things in their ears, it's not just a fashion statement. So if you want to be able to continue to hear well, you should probably put those in your ears every time you go to a show or do a show. A sporting event can be about 100 decibels in volume, and you will damage your hearing in about 15 minutes there. This video is a real bummer. A motorcycle is about 95 dB, and you will damage your hearing in about 50 minutes. The optimal volume to mix music at is somewhere between 70 decibels to 85 decibels. 70 decibels would be for a small room, and 85 would be for a large room. And this will damage your hearing in about 2 hours. The reason it's optimal to mix at this volume is because you are hearing the frequencies at their flattest. Depending on what volume you're hearing a sound at, you may be hearing it differently. And this is due to the Fletcher-Munson curve. So basically, hearing it at that volume will make you hear it as accurate as it should be. Now, obviously, as you age, you also may lose your hearing. The hair cells in your inner ear can deteriorate, and there's nothing you can do about this one unless you find the fountain of youth. You can also get hearing damage from genetics, illnesses, medicines, ear infections. Sounds like a skill issue, to be honest. Now, one thing to be careful of is ear fatigue. Ear fatigue is something that can set in after listening or mixing music for a long period of time. Ear fatigue can set in about 1 to 2 hours, maybe even less for some people. And generally, a good way to avoid it is to take a 5 to 10 minute break every 45 minutes. Not everyone does it the exact same. I've also seen people say every 1 to 2 hours, they'll take a 30-minute to 1 hour break. And it may set in sooner the louder you're listening. Ear fatigue can cause a loss of perception and perspective while mixing, and sometimes may even cause a slight aching. Can't say I've ever experienced that one. So what are the different types of hearing damage? The first one is conductive hearing loss. That snail looks baller as f. Now, this is caused by something that stops sounds from getting through the middle to outer ear. This could be something such as a wax buildup, a foreign object such as a wax candle, or due to an ear infection. This type of hearing loss can be treated with medicine or surgery. I hope you don't need surgery. The next type of hearing loss is sensorineural, and this occurs when there's a problem with the inner ear or the way your hearing nerve works. This can be caused by damage to these cells or to the nerve fibers in the inner ear. Pretty much the only way you could treat this is with a hearing aid or an implantable hearing device. Believe it or not, those are not the same thing. The third type of hearing loss is a mix of the two. In other words, you're incredibly unlucky. Now, the fourth type of ear damage is not really that relevant in this conversation, but I'll mention it anyways just to be complete. And that'd be auditory neuropathy spectrum disorder. And this is a hearing loss that occurs when sound enters the ear normally, but there's a problem with the way it gets communicated to the brain due to damage in the inner ear or the hearing nerve. Essentially, sound isn't organized in a way that the brain can understand. And this is fixable by frequency modulation, I'm not joking, or hearing aids or hearing implants. All right, so that sounds terrible. What's it like to have hearing loss, you may ask? It's not good. Now, the most obvious effect would be loss of hearing, aka hearing loss, aka can't hear aka this. I'm done making music. You may have difficulty understanding speech. You may be speaking loud and thinking you're speaking at a normal volume. You may not be able to hear music as well, etc. The next effect is tinnitus. It's a ringing, buzzing, or other noise that you hear in your ears. Another effect can be hyperacusis, and that's when you hear a not very loud sound very loudly. I didn't even know this was a thing, to be honest, and that sounds kind of frightening. Another thing that can happen to you is cognitive decline. Apparently, if you start to lose your hearing, the rest of your brain may no longer function as well, especially in older adults. Not sure how that works, but there's research that backs it up. Now, is it like an overlapping causation in this research? Maybe. And most importantly, it's going to affect your ability to continue making music or to mix and master music or whatever you like to do, or to go to shows and hear the music very well, or hear it at all. So the next logical thing to talk about is how do you protect your ears from this happening? I guess don't mix music for too long. Don't shoot guns without wearing earplugs or something. Maybe just don't shoot guns at all. Don't have people yelling in your ear. Wear earplugs when it's appropriate. You may also want to consider custom molded earplugs because they can reduce the volume more appropriately for the situation you're using them in. They're more comfortable too. Make sure you get an SPL meter to make sure you're not listening to music too loudly or mixing music too loudly. I don't know if you want to bust out the SPL meter while you're at the club or something, but maybe. I don't know. Some people might look at you kind of funny, but they also probably won't even see it. Definitely take breaks while mixing and mastering music or making music. Take breaks all the time. You know what? Just take breaks. Get regular hearing checkups. I know I sound like I don't even know what I sound like right now. Okay, maybe you don't gotta get hearing checkups. Just do this stuff to protect your ears, okay guys? Another thing worth mentioning is headphones. While they are great, they're actually really bad for your hearing, especially earbuds. Essentially, the closer a sound source is to your inner ear, the worse it'll be for your hearing. Now, I'm not saying don't use them, just be careful using them, don't overdo it. One good thing if you're gonna buy a pair of headphones or earbuds is to make sure they're noise canceling because you won't have to make the volume as loud in order to hear it. Obviously, this wouldn't be the case for mixing and mastering, this would just be for listening, especially while outside. But earbuds in particular are the most damaging type of headphones you can have. Okay guys, that's it for class today. I know, another boring subject in the book. I just thought this would be a good video. I don't see too many people talk about it that often, but it is really important. And I don't think enough music producers and musicians do enough to protect their hearing, not as much as they should. Let me just say this. I see way too many people complaining about tinnitus. Not that you can fix it now, because there is no fix for tinnitus, I believe. But I'd like to see less people get tinnitus or have hearing damage at a young age. So be careful out there, guys. Remember, earplugs, SPL meter. For every like on this video, I will fix your hearing damage and make you live forever. So make sure you like the video so you can get those perks. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure to comment Waves Got Hands down below. Is this like am I promoting them right now? I feel like I'm not promoting them. I'm saying they beat me up. So they didn't actually beat me up, by the way. Don't sue me, Waves. You can't sue me because I'm saying it's a joke. Make sure to check out my second channel if you haven't. We also upload there almost every single day. If you want to support the channel, consider joining my Patreon and becoming a channel member. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.
Bang Incorporated.